In the previous video, we have added start and end point or made it searchable for our prefabs for our road straight. Now what is left is the curve and the throughway. And for those, we will need to only create one script. So let's go to our scripts folder, AI, and let's create a new C# script. So right click, create C# script. Let's call it road helper multiple markers. Let's open it up in Visual Studio. Okay. I guess we could have called it road helper multiple car markers. So let's Ctrl RR on the name of the class and let's add car. Enter. And it should modify the name of the file in Unity as well. Now we want to extend not mono behavior but road helper. And again, we do not have this imported as the library, so Alt Enter on it and say using simple city.ai to be able to use this road helper class. Let's delete update and start method. And all we will need to do is again override. So let's type override, get position for car to spawn, and override get position for car to end. Now, here will be a much simpler case because what we are going to do, here I am in Unity with the throughway intersection opened, is we are going to define some specific points that are incoming and outgoing. So as you can see, if the throughway is placed like here, like this, if the car is incoming from the left, it will always reach the red marker here. So we do not need to specify any marker in the center. If it reaches here, then we know that it's arrived at the destination. If it's coming from the right side, it will want to reach the green marker here. And if it is coming from above, it will want to reach the red marker here. Other way around, if we are starting from this marker, from this throughway, we will want to spawn a car. If we want to go to the left, we will want to use the green marker, to the right the red marker, and upwards the green marker. And despite the rotation, it will always be the same markers. So what we can do is simply find the position of the next road prefab and find the closest marker from a list of outgoing markers. And for if we want to go from the throughway, we want to find the closest marker from the list of outgoing markers. And this is how we are going to find the correct marker to spawn our car and to make our car arrive at the destination. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Great. So as I have previously mentioned, since we already know which car markers are arriving or outgoing and which are incoming, what we can do is create a serialized field and let's call it protected list. So protected means that we can use it in any child class if we want to create a class, a child class of our road helper multiple car markers. And we are going to add a list of markers, and let's call it incoming markers. And let's call another list outgoing markers. And this is similar to what we had in our road helper for the dead end. So if we have those two lists, now what we would like to do is call our method getClosestMarker2. So let's right click on a road helper, right click, go to the definition. And we already have this method getClosestMarker2, but this is private method. So let's change the definition to be protected. So now every child class will be able to access it. Let's go to our road helper multiple car markers. I have it opened in Visual Studio. Make sure you save your road helper script, Ctrl S. Let's go back to our road helper multiple car markers. And now what we can do in the get position for car to spawn, we can return and call get closest marker to, and we can pass here a structure position, which is the next path position. So to the next path position, we want to find the closest marker in the list, and we want the list of the outgoing car markers since we are going to start from this position. And we can leave the east corner as false, but it is set as default here. Let's copy this statement and let's paste it below, because here we will want to get the closest marker, but not from the outgoing markers, but rather from the incoming markers list. And this will be the whole logic. Of course, we want to have the not next path position, but the previous path position. And this will be it for this class. So let's save it. Let's go back to Unity. Great. Let's open up our street curve prefab from the prefabs from road folder. And let's add to it our road helper multiple cars component. What we can do is lock the inspector so we can see it constantly. And we can remove the road helper. So 3 dots and remove component. This is a corner we need to set is corner to true. And we want to assign our pedestrian markers, so markers outside of the car markers game object as the pedestrian markers, and as the car markers assign the car markers. And all we need to do is assign our incoming markers and outgoing markers. So for the corner, we know that our red marker here is the outgoing and green marker here is outgoing. So let's find those. So the one without an index is the red marker that is outgoing. Let's assign it to our list of outgoing markers. Let's find the second one. For me, it is car marker with index 4. Assign it to the outgoing markers. Let's find the incoming marker. So this is this red one and this green one. So let's select those. The red one is, in my case, the with index 6. So I'm going to assign it as the incoming marker. And the green one with index 1, I'm going to assign it as the incoming marker. And this is it for the curve. Let's save it. Let's unlock the inspector and let's go to our street three-way prefab. Great, let's lock the inspector. And again, what we want to do is remove the road helper. Now, mind that this has crosswalks, so we will want to check that. Remove this component, add our road helper multiple cars. Again, we will need to add pedestrian markers to a pedestrian markers list, car markers to the car markers list. Okay, so those should be filled. And we want to set has crosswalks to true. And we want to assign the incoming markers. So this will be the red one here. This is marker with index 1. Let's assign it as the incoming marker. The green one on the other end. So this is marker 6 in my case. Let's assign it as the incoming marker. And the marker at the top, the marker red. Let's assign it. It is in my case marker with index 9. Now for the outgoing markers. This will be the green one here. This is car marker without an index. I'm going to assign it as the outgoing marker. The red one on the other side, car marker 7. I'm going to assign it. And the green marker at the top, this is car marker 8. I'm going to assign it. Now make sure that those are correct, because otherwise your car might travel on the incorrect lane. So in my case, it is for the incoming markers, this is 1. Correct. The incoming marker. The 6th, okay, correct. This is incoming marker from the right side, and the 9. So this is from the above, so from the top, and we can have we can check the outgoing markers. So marker without an index, correct. And marker 7, correct. So this is outgoing to the right, and marker 8. So this is outgoing to the top, so up direction. Great. Let's save it. Let's unlock the editor. The inspector, and we can go back using the arrow underneath the hierarchy to see our scene. What we can do right now is simply perform a couple of tests. So let's press play. Let's create a couple of roads, and we can check if we have working corner and a three-way. What we can do is simply select a special and let's place it on one end, and let's create car on the three-way and on the corner. And let's create a special on the corner as well. Let's spawn a car. And I can see that we have some error. So let's find out what it is. So let's stop the game. We're going to select this error. And let's see where it is. Let's click on this blue line. And I can see that we have an issue. And this is because when we have a corner as the last position, it has the limit distance flag set as true. And there is an issue with our logic. So sometimes when we have the last position as the corner, we are not adding any points to our temp dictionary. But here, if limit distance is true, we are always checking the temp dictionary. So what we need to do is add limit distance, and our temp dictionary.count needs to be greater than 2, or actually need to be greater than 1. Save it, and now let's go back to Unity. And we have one small bug to fix. If we go to our road helper script, Great. If we slide down to search for get closest, not marker to, but rather get closest car marker position, in the get closest pedestrian position, we have used this is corner flag. Now for the get closest car marker position, since I have copied this function, I have forgotten to change it. We will not use this flag, we want to pass it false. And now if we go back to Unity, great. If we press play, if we create a road that contains corners and place house on one corner and special structure on another, we should see a car traveling from the correct marker towards the correct marker. Great. If we stop the game and create something more complex, so let's create a three-way and a corner here. If we place on one corner and a special on the three-way, if we spawn our car, we can see that it is also traveling to the correct marker. So this should all work great. We can place houses on the ends of this three-way so that we can see if it works. Spawn cars, and you can see that all cars are traveling towards the correct markers, towards the three-way, and from the corner we can also spawn a car. Great, it all seems to be working. Now last thing that we will want to do is we will want to make sure that our cars can interact on intersections. So this is what we are going to take care of in the next video. See you there!